Hello, everybody. Harvard and Zach here for our analysis on the NFL Week 3. Denver is going to Cincinnati. Denver's 2-0. Cincinnati is split 1-1. Money is basically balanced on this game. I'm going to take a look at Denver. They're hot. They've beaten Cincinnati straight up. They're winners of 5 of the last 6 games. Last year, if you remember, they won in overtime 20-17, but Dalton had been hurt, and AJ is quarterbacking for Cincinnati. Things are almost the same. The quarterback's no letdown there. I think Trevor Siemian, he's thrown it 59 times this year, the first 2 games, and he's completed 40 of 59 for 444 yards. The only thing that concerns me, he's only had 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions, but the defense. And right now, I'll tell you right now, they better shape it up, because the word's getting out that they're playing a little bit dirty on the defense. So I think that'll get to the refs, and they'll start looking at them. But they're getting turnovers, they're causing fumbles, they're running the ball in for touchdowns. C.J. Anderson is running wild. And here's the thing I don't like for Cincinnati. I like Dalton. I mean, this guy's come out fired, but is he the only thing that they can do to move the ball? 732 yards this season, which is great, but rushing, he leads the entire team with 53 yards for 2 games. They have no rushing. I don't even know if they've made 125 yards total rushing this year in 2 games. One thing back is Tyler Eifert is going to be back. He was dressed last week but didn't play.
Well, they could have used him.
But you know what? He's still rusty. He hasn't been hit. He hasn't taken his. You got to get that rust knocked off. And I'm going to leave one question with Zach. Write this down, Denver. But let me ask you one thing. As much as I'm going to be counting on C.J. Anderson, he averages 6 yards a carry at home and only 3.5 on the road. Why is it they fall off the grid on rushing on the road so much? 3.5 versus 6? Why do you think it is?
Well, there's a couple factors there, Hollis, and this is why I'm actually going to take Cincinnati. The pressure on the quarterback. You remember last year with Peyton Manning? At home, he was a little bit better. On the road, really can't complete that pass in those outdoor stadiums. And you put Trevor Siemian on the road. His first time getting out of Denver, obviously week 1, a Thursday game against Carolina, very vanilla script. They were lucky to come back and win that. Week 2 against the Indianapolis Colts. Denver's defense has had Andrew Luck's number for however many years it's been right now. So they had the intel on the Colts to get by on that one with another vanilla game plan. You put Trevor Siemian on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals defense, which to me is still pretty much underrated in terms of what they did last year. You're getting the Cincinnati Bengals have an excelling record, and what they've done this year, I mean, they basically almost beat Pittsburgh with just field goals last week. Obviously, they fell apart at the end, but now they get this home game against the Denver Broncos. Trevor Siemian, let's go back to 2 weeks ago. Everyone was baffled that he was named the starting quarterback, third stringer. To me, he still is a third-string quarterback, and you just cannot. This Denver Broncos defense, how many more times can you put that much pressure on that defense to win a game in this day and age in the NFL, where you've got the talent of A.J. Green on the outside, Andy Dalton? I like what I've seen from him. His personnel let him down last week a little bit. And even though they're not rushing the ball well, they're getting enough out of the backfield with Giovanni Bernard catching on the backfield, 90 yards catching last week, which is a factor this day and age with what these guys are doing out of the backfield. But that defense, for me, they are not going to allow Trevor Siemian and C.J. Anderson to win that game offensively. So can the defense win the game on the road? I don't think so. So I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals, a small number. For a Broncos team that, let's face it, they're having a little bit of inflation based on last season and those 2 wins against the Colts as a 5.5-point favorite, and last year's Super Bowl representative against them in the Carolina Panthers.
Well, keep in mind, though, that 18 out of the 21 or 22 starters for Denver, they know how to beat Cincinnati. As I said, they've beaten them 5 of the last 6 times.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see much drop-off with Siemian versus the way Peyton Manning was playing last year. So I have no problem taking Denver.
One last thing I'll throw in there. I'm always keen on quarterbacks that are able to watch from the sideline with injury, and I think Andy Dalton will have a little bit. He might have saw a couple things last year by being on the sideline in that Monday Night Football game when he was watching A.J. McCarron blow that early lead. So I think he's got a little bit scouted on him. if the Bengals can get that lead early this time, which I think they can, they won't let the same mistake happen.
Well, they also, one of the things you said is they're kicking a lot of field goals because they have no rushing, and so you can key on them, especially in the red zone. So until they find the rushing, if Jeremy Hill has a breakout game, then maybe I'm on the wrong side. But if you're going to have a breakout game, you're not going to start it with Denver and their defense.